Hey everybody, and welcome to Infinity Flux Presents. We're doing these little specials now,
Yep.
and we've got an exciting one for you today. DC released a video with Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson talking about DC All In.
Yeah.
What is this? It is a new initiative from DC, and we're going to talk about it and our opinions on it, and maybe what you should know,
Right.
kind of through our lens.
Yeah, and very first thing, right at the beginning of this, we want to stress that this is not a reboot. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not a reboot, not a retcon. The universe is not getting reset like it did with New 52. This is more of a publishing initiative, putting top creators on top books, and also an expansion of the universe, because we are going to get a new absolute universe out of this. That is, think of it like Marvel's Ultimate Universe. The comparisons to that, are obviously there. But it's just an initiative to, really celebrate comics. I think is what they said at one point, to really celebrate the art form of comics. That comic books are a wonderful way to tell stories, and there's a lot of cool stuff to be excited about.
Right. Yeah. So an initiative is, as they described it in this, it's not an event. We've had events in the past, and those do affect, kind of a key part. This is a Batman event, or this is a whatever. This is going to be an initiative, which is where the whole company kind of comes together under one unified vision going forward. This is all going to begin in October with DC All In #1. This is going to be a single issue kind of introduction to it. It's a flip book. Part of it written by Scott Snyder, the other half written by Joshua Williamson. And this is going to kind of set the stage for everything to come.
Yeah.
And this is going to, what it sounds like, spinning out of Absolute Power. We're going to get, the seeds of what this new stuff is going to be.
Yeah, and surprisingly, they said that there's going to be something that happens with Darkseid in Absolute Power, which that blew my mind because I didn't think he was going to be part of this. But they said that he, at some point, he realizes that there's something missing in the universe, and that leads to some kind of event, not a big like line-wide event, but just like an event in the story that creates this new absolute universe. And again, not a reboot, because all of the books that we're reading right now, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all of those books are going to continue. But then you're also going to have over here this new absolute universe, and that's going to be, they said, think of the current DC universe as like full of Superman energy. It's bright and hopeful. Well, this new absolute universe is going to be like Darkseid energy. It's going to be a little bit darker, a little bit more grim. The heroes are going to be seen as underdogs. They're not going to have all the advantages that they enjoy as superheroes in the main universe. It's not an evil Superman story, not an evil Batman story, nothing like that. It's just that heroes aren't maybe celebrated like they are on the main.
It says that means they have to kind of, they come from further down. They're underdogs. They have to be a little bit tougher. A little bit, it sounded like for Batman, maybe a little bit more street level than what he's been recently. The designs of the characters, you can see what Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are going to look like. They've kind of got their own twist to them, but still very recognizable as the characters. And what kind of capitalized on this, where, yes, we're going to have those, but it's not even that everything's going to a new #1. Superman is continuing with the same, with Joshua Williamson still writing it. He teased that Doomsday story coming out that was at the end of House of Brainiac. That story is coming up, I believe, later this year, maybe December, something like that.
I thought I thought it was October, but it's much later in the year for sure.
But we're still continuing with that. So, like you said, it's an expansion. We're getting the stuff that we already know and love, plus more great stuff. Now, what they did say is in October, everything is going to have a jumping on point. As in, it will have a new story beginning. Not a new #1, not any of that, but a new story. And what I like, they said, it's an invitation. It's not a jumping on point, a jumping off point. It's essentially all the books, all the creators are opening to the doors to their books and saying, if you want to try it out, here is a great place to come into it. So I think that's really great. If there's books that you have been like, oh man, I really want to get into that, but it's in the middle of a story arc, October is going to be the time for you to try some of those out. They also said there are going to be new books. Those, of course, will be starting at #1s with presumably new characters, changing that kind of stuff up. But the classic stuff is remaining. I love this, that you don't have to reset your brain. You don't have to do any of that. You get what you love plus more.
Yeah, so they didn't really announce a lot of new books yet. We know we're going to get Absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. They didn't really announce creative teams on that yet either. But we
do know Scott Snyder is writing
Absolute Batman.
Batman,
and Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora on the mainline Superman book. So if you're reading Superman, if you've been reading it for the last year and a half, it's still going to continue, still with the same writer, Dan Mora jumping on. They're going to introduce a new Superwoman, which sounds pretty cool. But they said they're gonna have some more announcements later this week, and then also at San Diego, there's going to be a bunch of stuff there. So there's going to be a lot to talk about within the next couple of weeks. New titles in both universes, creative teams, all that kind of stuff. And then. It all happens in October. So October is going to be a humongous month for DC.
We've been speculating on this as DC has not had as many number ones coming out, or there's certain creators that hadn't been present. We felt that there may be something coming, and this is it. It's going to be a big thing. And the title All In, they really talk about, because this is the creators of the books are all in for these stories. Whether it's, they're going to be writing the best stories they've ever written, or trying stuff that they've always wanted to try with a character or something like that. This is them giving it their all. They're all in on this, and I think this is awesome. It seems like it's spearheaded kind of from Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson are kind of leading this. I'm very excited for that.
I am extremely excited for this. Watching that video, and you can watch their video. It's on DC's official YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. It wasn't any big secret thing. You can go watch it right now. It's about 10 minutes long. But it sounds like Scott Snyder said they've been working on this for a couple of years. It seems like they have a lot of enthusiasm and passion for it, which I think translates to me for sure. I don't know about anybody else, but it gets me excited to know that they're excited. And again, not a reboot, just more of what you've been loving from DC for the last little while. They're having great runs on Superman and Wonder Woman. Batman's really good, Green Lantern, all that stuff, and that stuff is still there. Like, it's still going to be there. Like you said, plus more. And it's in a whole other universe. So if it's not your cup of tea, you can just not read that universe and still this one. It's just DC really. Putting comics and these characters at the forefront, which is great.
Yeah, I've loved what DC's been doing lately. Putting Superman up front, all the titles across the board. We've had some kind of staples that have been great, and then we have the new stuff like Poison Ivy that's been great. And I think we're going to be getting more of that kind of thing. They talked about new creators that have come along in the past few years, giving them kind of more authority for their storytelling, some new books kind of like that. So, we wanted to make this video to really capitalize on kind of through our lens. We're excited. This isn't a reboot. It's not a retcon. This is more. This is more. This is exciting. This is a great place if you maybe haven't been reading many DC books, for you to jump into it. Kind of doubling down on, absolute power right now is really important. So, go pick up those issues. This is all leading to that. We don't know, first appearances at this point or anything, but I imagine if you want to be in on the groundwork, follow Absolute Power, especially the 4 main issues of that.
Yeah, well, that's a great thing too, is just the main story is only 4 issues, right? It ends, I believe, at the very beginning of October, and then this is what's going to happen next. And it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too. You do get new modernized takes of characters, but you also still have these classic characters, so you get best of both worlds.
I hate to keep comparing it to the Ultimate Universe, but when Ultimate Spider-Man came out, you had Amazing Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man. In this, you're going to have Superman and Absolute Superman, Batman and Absolute Batman.
You just pick whichever ones you like best.
Or both. Or why not? Why not all
buy
of them?
Everything. Just get all the DC stuff, because DC has just been doing a bang up job, especially over the last couple of years, of really propping up their classic characters. A lot of these characters feel the most classic they've ever felt in a really long time. And they're going to continue that and give us new stuff.
So stay tuned as we get closer to October, as we get closer to San Diego Comic-Con, and right after it. stay tuned for us. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because we're going to be doing more specials like this, talking about this big news and kind of how, we're super fans of all of it, what we think about it. So, make sure to follow us on here on YouTube and everywhere else we are. And we've got all of our regular shows as well, like our early comic review videos and our pre-order specials that we are about to do one next, where you can see the books that are upcoming that you could pre-order. And pretty soon, we're going to be talking about absolute everything. Yeah. So I cannot wait. Yeah. October can't come soon enough. Don't want to wish my life away, but
I'm really excited for what's coming in October because it sounds awesome. Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was informative and help you. We say definitely head over there and watch the video yourself. It's really informative. Some great images. You get to see the designs of a lot of the characters coming up. Yep. So very cool. So until next time, see ya.